What is up, YouTube? This is your boy Callie, and we're back with another video. We have an update on the iBuypower ARC 495. Let's get into it. So my customer ended up taking the other computer back to Best Buy and getting a refund, but what they did is they just exchanged it for her to this model, and it's supposed to be the same one. I mean, they're both iBuypower ARC 945, but there are a couple of key differences between the old system and this one. For example, the RAM is different. This one actually has Neo Forza, which is a brand that I hadn't heard before until, right now. It's 16 gigabytes of DDR4 at 2666 megahertz. The SSD also changed. It went from being a Western Digital green to an ADATA SU650 or SU650. Also 240 gigabytes, and the motherboard changed from that MSI, which I couldn't really find the specific model, but I put something close to it in the previous video, to an Asus TUF B360M Plus Gaming S motherboard. And then the CPU cooler ended up being the same thing. I tried to look at the specific model, and it's either going to be a Deepcool Alpha or Theta. This means that this customer is going to keep this computer, and I looked at it, and there's no cosmetic damage. Everything looks good. But the case still seems pretty cheap. It looks like it could break really easily. But let's skip all that. Let's get into the benchmarks. Is this really worth the $800 that she paid? Because I ended up asking her exactly how much it was, and it was around $800. So let's get to the benchmarks. So the drivers have been updated on the computer. Now we're just going to run Cinebench to see how it does just on CPU, because obviously there's no graphics card installed. So let's go ahead and get into it. So even with the new machine that had slightly different parts and, slightly better parts, I guess you could say, I still don't recommend you buying this iBuypower from Best Buy. I mean, unless you really don't want to go through the hassle of picking out parts or have someone build one for you, there are definitely a lot better pre-builds than this one out there for that price range of $750 to $820 or $830, which is usually what this one goes for. Just don't buy it. Build your own. I'll see you guys on the next one. I mean, come on, iBuypower. You can't have a bigger fail than this. Like, remove the sticker, use below ports for display, but you have no graphics card in here, man. What's up with that? Come on, buddy. Come on, iBuypower. Get your shit together. Okay, when I say that you shouldn't buy iBuypower pre-built computers from Best Buy, It's not because I'm being a hater or something like that, but it's because it's the small things. This power supply, don't let yourself be fooled just because it's black. Doesn't mean it's not one of those cheap gray ones, okay? But if you take a look here, yo, that power supply is floating. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus. It is floating. It is not touching anything. This one is barely making contact with anything. Let's see here. Come on, focus. I don't know if you can tell, but this one's barely making contact with anything at all. But that one over there is just floating. It's not touching anything. The only thing that's holding it up like that are these screws back here. So please do yourself a favor and save up your money and just build your own computer. You're going to avoid yourself a lot of small little headaches like that.